Rehan had embarked on a journey, one whose destination was beyond his control. As he walked through an unfamiliar road in the darkness of the night, his car ran out of fuel. There was no help in sight, no sound to be heard. He turned on his phone's flashlight and noticed an old worn-out signboard in the distance, Sheher-e-Saya. A strange chill ran down his spine. He had heard this name before. But where? The air suddenly turned colder, carrying an eerie whisper that sent shivers through his body. Rehan stepped towards the town, but the closer he got, the more uneasy he felt. The streets were empty, the houses old and decayed, as if no one had lived there for centuries. Then, beneath an ancient lamppost, he saw a shadow move in the distance. Was someone there, or was it just a trick of the darkness? This was no ordinary town. It was a secret, a trap, and Rehan had just walked into it. What happens next? What is the true secret of Sheher-e-Saya? Rehan hesitated for a moment, but then took a deep breath and walked further into the town. The silence was deafening. As he passed by a row of abandoned houses, he noticed something peculiar. Every house had its door slightly ajar, as if someone had left in a hurry. Or perhaps they had never truly left. A sudden gust of wind made the old wooden signboard creak behind him. He turned sharply, his heart pounding, but there was nothing, just the eerie emptiness of Sheher-e-Saya. Then he heard it, a faint echoing whisper. It was distant yet clear, calling his name. Rehan. His breath caught in his throat. He spun around, flashing his phone's light in every direction. Still nothing. But now something felt different. The air had grown heavier, the darkness even darker. And then from the corner of his eye he saw movement. Something or someone lurking in the shadows. It wasn't just a trick of the night. He wasn't alone. His instincts screamed at him to turn back, to run. But something about this place, about the voice that had called him, made him stay. There was a mystery here, an answer hidden within the ghostly silence of Sheher-e-Saya. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward, and as he did, the whisper came again. Rehan, we've been waiting for you. Rehan's pulse quickened as he scanned the darkness around him. The voice was neither near nor far, but it surrounded him, as if the town itself was speaking. Gathering his courage, he moved toward the center of Sheher-e-Saya, where an old clock tower stood tall, its hands frozen in time. The whispers grew louder, the air thickened with a strange energy. And then, the door of the clock tower creaked open by itself. A cold shudder ran through Rehan's spine. Every logical part of his mind screamed for him to run, but something inside him, something unexplainable, urged him forward. Stepping into the darkness of the tower, Rehan found himself in a large hall lined with dusty portraits. Their eyes followed him, hollow and lifeless. A grand staircase spiraled up into the unknown, and at the very top, a dim flickering light swayed as if beckoning him. With hesitant steps, he ascended, the wooden stairs creaking beneath his weight. The whispers grew more distinct, forming words he couldn't yet understand. As he reached the top, he found himself in a dimly lit room with a large, ancient mirror standing against the far wall. And then he saw it, his own reflection, but it was not his. The figure in the mirror had his face, his eyes, but its expression was twisted into something unnatural, something sinister. The lips of his reflection curled into a slow, knowing smile. "Welcome home, Rehan," it whispered. The door behind him slammed shut. Rehan stumbled back, his breath hitching as the mirror's surface rippled like water. His reflection did not mimic his movements. Instead, it took a step forward, pressing its hand against the glass. "You've finally come back," the reflection murmured, its voice eerily similar to his own. Rehan shook his head, panic surging through him. "I've never been here before," he whispered. The reflection tilted its head, grinning. Oh, but you have. You just don't remember. A sudden force pulled Rehan towards the mirror, his body resisting against an invisible grip. He struggled, his hands gripping the edge of a wooden table nearby. The whispers in the room grew into a deafening chorus, chanting his name over and over again. Then, in an instant, silence fell. Rehan's reflection stepped back, the grin fading. The surface of the mirror became clear again, showing something behind Rehan, something moving in the shadows. A tall, distorted figure with hollow, glowing eyes. A cold breath brushed against the back of his neck. "Run," his reflection whispered. Without hesitation, Rehan turned and bolted for the door. He twisted the knob desperately, but it wouldn't budge. The room darkened, the air thick with an unnatural presence. Heavy footsteps echoed behind him. The town of Sheher-e-Saya remained as it was, silent, waiting. No one ever truly left once they entered. And now Rehan was part of it. Some say if you listen closely on a quiet night, you can still hear the whispers calling his name. If you want to uncover what happened next, don't forget to